Tonight, 13 Investigates is getting answers straight from the Pueblo mayor about naming a police chief with a controversial past.
Stephen Noller was recently at the center of an internal investigation for allegations of discrimination and bullying officers. Chief investigative reporter Chelsea Brenzel sat down one-on-one with the mayor to explain his decision. Chelsea.
Mayor Nick Gradisar says Stephen Noller is the best person to lead the Pueblo Police Department, and the public should trust his decision. Since the mayor announced his decision yesterday, 13 Investigates have spoken with several Pueblo police officers who believe their complaints were never taken seriously.
You appointed Stephen Noller. You recommended to the council that that's who you would like to see as the police chief based on the interviews, based on the process. What was it about him that you said this is the guy for the job?
Well, he had widespread, broad community support, evidenced by letters of recommendation and phone calls to me from members of the community whose judgment I respect and trust. He had support from members of the department saying, hey, this would be a good fit.
We've obtained a copy of that executive summary after 10 complaints were filed. Harassment or discrimination, bullying, those types of allegations. The law firm that you hired to do that investigation found that there were no civil rights violations by Stephen Noller. However, they did find that he broke city policy, police department policy, and that his leadership style was at a minimum divisive. So how did that investigation factor into your decision to name him police chief?
Well, I took it into consideration. I took into consideration the nature of the complaints. And let me be clear that I have read the earlier reports that Chief Davenport did, have read the 110 pages that the law firm did, and viewing them in their totality, I determined that there was nothing in there that would disqualify Chris Noller from being the chief of police.
When you read, though, that the leadership style is at a minimum divisive, what does that say to you as a leader in this community?
Well, it says he has a lot to learn. And he has learned. And Troy Davenport has talked to him about that, has tried to mentor him. See, these complaints started at or about the time he got to be deputy chief. You know, he supervised 146 people, I think. And you got 3 or 4 that really have issues and problems with him. So that's a pretty good record, I would say. You know, in any kind of leadership position, you try your best to make everybody happy. That's not possible. And sometimes it just doesn't work out.
The city council is expected to vote on Noller's confirmation on August 9th. The mayor told us he provided the council the full findings of Noller's internal investigation. Reporting live in Pueblo, Chelsea Brenzel, 13 Investigates.